Welcome back to Timeless Messages from the I Ching. This is Stephen. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm trying something different in this video. I've taken a still shot of the particular hexagram related to the question I am going to ask, or have already asked, I should say. I'll let you know what that is momentarily. And this will take up less space. It'll just be the still photo, and then I've got the option to use my much higher quality audio microphone, the Zoom recorder. So I'll give this a shot. We'll see how it goes. And without further ado, the question I asked for this reading is, let me find that question one sec. I Ching questions. What will foster peace and harmony between men and women? What will foster peace and harmony between men and women? This seems to be a very important thing for us to consider. And the hexagram that came through is revolution, also known as molting. Most of us know what a revolution is, a complete revolution in thought and action and so forth. Molting is less obvious. That word's not very often used. And molting means to shed or make room for the new, such as shedding hair, skin, shedding a shell, feathers, horns, particularly for animals, to fall out, to make way for new growth. The snake sheds its skin. Humans shed hair and skin cells. Essentially, molting is to shed an outer layer so the new growth can occur. So, what is going to be the most helpful to foster peace and harmony between men and women? So, revolution, number 49, revolution molting. The Chinese character for this hexagram means, in its original sense, an animal's pelt, which is changed in the course of the year by molting. From this, the word is carried over to apply to the moltings in political life and society, the great revolutions connected with changes of governments. So also the great changes that in this particular question between what would foster peace and harmony between men and women, the great revolutions that will foster these changes. The two trigrams making up the hexagram are the same two that appear in a previous hexagram called opposition, number 38. And that one, the two younger daughters, in this hexagram, the two younger daughters, Li on the bottom and Tui on the top. But while there, in the opposition, the elder of the two daughters is above, what results is essentially only an opposition of tendencies. But here, the younger daughter is above. The influences are in actual conflict, and the forces combat each other like fire and water. Because above, Tui is the gentle lake, the water. Water descends, follows the course of gravity, whereas Li is fire. Li rises up, so they combat one another. Each force, fire and water, trying to destroy the other. Hence, we have the idea of revolution. The judgment, revolution on your own day, you are believed. Supreme success, furthering through perseverance. Remorse disappears. Political revolutions are extremely grave matters. They should be undertaken only under stress of the direst necessity, when there is no other way out. Not everyone is called to this task, but only the man and woman who has the confidence of the people, and even he or she only when the time is ripe. This person must then proceed in the right way so that they gladden the people and, by enlightening them, prevent excesses. Furthermore, this person must be quite free of selfish aims and must really relieve the need of the people. Only then does this person have nothing to regret. Times do change, and with them their demands. Thus the seasons change in the course of the year. In the world cycle also, there are spring and autumn in the life of peoples and nations, and these call for social transformations. The image, fire in the lake, the image of revolution. Thus, the superior man sets the calendar in order and makes the seasons clear. Fire below and the lake above combat and destroy each other. So too, in the course of the year, a combat takes place between the forces of light and the forces of darkness, resulting in the revolution of the seasons. Humanity masters these changes in nature by noting their regularity and marking off their passage of time, marking off the passage of time accordingly. In this way, order and clarity appear in the apparently chaotic images and changes of the seasons, and humanity is able to adjust themselves in advance to the demands of the different times. So here we have the idea of what can help foster peace and harmony between men and women, and we have the idea of a revolution. Of course, the joyous lake, these two sisters are, by their very nature, not moving in the same directions. They're butting heads. Tui is moving downward, the joyous lake, and Li is rising upward. So fire in the lake. So these particular types of revolutions are particularly grave or serious matters. They can have supreme success, but they should only be undertaken under stress of the most important necessity, when there's no other way out. Because these two influences in revolution, the lake and the fire, are combating one another. They're trying to destroy each other. So we have the image of a person in this text. The pronoun is a he, but it could be either gender. So this confident person, definitely this person would be confident, but this person would have the confidence of the people. And only when the time is ripe would they proceed in the right way. And they need to gladden the people by enlightening them, and this will prevent excessives. So excesses, too much of one particular ideology, too much distance or dispersion or disillusion, separation between the genders, a general persistence of trying to bring harmony and peace back to one another through respect and being cordial and kind and thoughtful of one another, and reclaiming some of the more primal, archetypal values that seem to have slipped away from many cultures here on earth, where it's me, and I'm not considering others. I'm just wanting to make sure I can secure what I want at all costs, and my agenda is primary and so forth. These types of ideas are not in harmony, and they are not creating peace between men and women. Men and women have historically always worked together to create a better life here on earth. And that is the type of vision that we need to reclaim, one of unity, working together in a harmonious, positive, respectful, thoughtful, kind-hearted way, and detaching ourselves from the unforgiving, negative, judgmental, hurtful, vindictive, separatist type of thinking that perhaps only wants what's good for one gender and not the other gender, that wants to elevate one gender and doesn't care about the other gender. This will only lead to destruction and chaos, and that is an excess that the I Ching seems to be referring to, in my estimation. So the importance of bringing a light-hearted spirit, but also making sure that the people, through his or her behavior, do not become excessive in their ideologies, excuse me, nor excessive in their way of treating one another. Further, this person, or persons, I'm sure there'll be many people needed for this process of revolution. These people need to be free, quite free, of selfish aims, and they must really be there to relieve the needs of the people. Only then does this person have nothing to regret, because they're there to relieve the needs of the people, to be of assistance, to be there to support, regardless of the gender. We're both in this together. That type of thought and perspective will help us to bridge the gap that has become ever increasing between men and women and is sabotaging peace and harmony between us. So just as in nature, times change, and the demands of the times change as well, such as the seasons through the course of the year, and we adapt to those seasons. And in the world cycle, there are seasons such as spring and autumn in the lives of people. So I would say that the distance between men and women has become a long winter. But we need to have that spring, that rebirth of peace and harmony, because the time and the demands of the time are calling for these types of social transformations between the genders, between men and women. Both men and women have equal value. No one is more valuable than anyone else. We do have significant differences, and that's okay. Men tend to be stronger physically. They tend to be taller. They tend to excel at certain things. Women tend to be shorter. They tend to be not quite as strong, but they excel in other things. So they're complementary opposites. So when they work together out of respect, out of harmony and peace, then heaven and earth are reunited. So I hope this message speaks to you. I would listen to it once or twice more and perhaps write down the most important messages that you got from this reading, and then apply those messages through the course of your days and upcoming week or so, and see if you can integrate these ideas more fully into your personal relationships and perspectives with others. And if you're inclined, try to bring that harmony, that peace, and that respect for both genders into your life experience and into your behavior. If you're interested in a personalized reading, the information for those readings is in the description box. And as always, thanks for tuning in, and take care.